Hello everyone, it is Ebontis, and today we're going to be talking about the Bene Gesserit skill unlock. Now, if you chose Bene Gesserit, you would start where I am right now with kind of level 1 unlocks, but to be able to get everything else unlocked, you got to go through the whole tree. So even if you didn't choose Bene Gesserit, I'm still going to cover the initial unlock. If you've done that already, use the timestamps below to jump ahead to the section of the video you need, if there's just a certain part, whatever it may be. Also, depending on where you're coming from, this is one that I recommend an Ornithopter almost from the start, because we're going to be here up in a northern section. We're going to be going over here to two different sides of the Odom. Driving around this would probably be an absolute pain in the butt, so I would almost do this once you've got an Ornithopter, and probably not much sooner. That recommendation out of the way, let's talk about first who we've got to get to, and that is the basic class unlock. So, if you started as this class, feel free to jump ahead and we'll get to that. But we're going to be here in Helios Gate. So if you take Western Vermilius Gap, you go due north, you're up here on this high corner of the eastern shield wall. And in Helios Gate, when you walk in the front entrance, she's pretty close. She's just right over here on the left, just past the front entrance. And if we talk to her, I started this way already, but she's going to give you your basic quest. Once you pick up the quest, we're going to head west and I'll show you where to go. So once you pick up the initial quest, what you're going to be doing is heading west, as I mentioned. We're going to be going to the Stonestep village, and then we're going to be going to the Rockwarren village. So it's the two villages in the upper and lower corners of the Odom. So again, I recommend Ornithopter for sure, just due to all the flight and elevation changes. It's hard to get here if you're just trying to drive around, so I really do recommend Ornithopter. We're going to head here first, and I'm going to show you how to get to each of the pickups that you'll need. Once you've picked up both, we're going to head back to Sister Mesa, turn those in, and we'll be done with the basics. But for now, fly to Stonestep Village, basically the northeast corner here in the Odom, and I'll show you where to go. Alright, so if you're looking for the entrance to Stonestep Village, I'll kind of show you where I'm hovering up, but truly right up here on the border of Western Shield Wall and the Odom, kind of in this northern edge, northeast corner of the Odom. You're looking south into this rock structure here. You're going to see the lights and kind of an entranceway for it. So as we land, I will show you where to go. I may need to clear out a few enemies first, so what I'm going to do is run inside, clear everything out, and then I will show you where we need to go. It's really not that far, so I'm going to take a quick peek. But if you just kind of come up here, full suspensor belts are amazing. You'll usually have one down here. Pretty easy to get to, and what we're going for is just right on top of this little archway up here. So if you come up here, typically not too many enemies. Now I would explore these places, they've got some valuable materials in here, but if you just want to come right up here, you can climb it or just hover it. It's this little golden chest sitting right up here. If you're like already done with the quest, okay, it'd be great if it would just let me get here. So on top of the archway, you've got this little golden chest. You'll have money and what you actually need in here. So this is step one. Grab the item from that chest, and then we're going to head back outside, and we are going to go down to Rockwarren Village. Now, if you want to climb up inside and go up a few levels and grab the materials from all the chests, there's some good stuff in here. You got things like insulated fabric and stuff you'll need to craft armor, so I do recommend getting those items. But if you don't need them, head down to Rockwarren Village, and we will get to the next step. Alright, so the entrance to Rockwarren Village, if you're kind of hovering here above this final bottom left-hand corner rock structure, you'll notice where I'm hovering. It's a bit elevated, so you'll want to be a little bit higher, and you'll see this kind of man-made set of stairs here, a couple places, little camp down below. So from here, you can come from a little lower. You'll see stairs down there if you want to come from that direction, work your way up. And then from here, I'm just going to kind of hover across. But you will need to go elevated, so some way to get your elevation up. I use the Shigawire Claw way too much, but I kind of enjoy the thing. Here, you can just jump across. Suspensor belts are great, whatever you need to do. Alright, so I cleared everything out, but we should have a pretty smooth run. You will see some enemies along the way. I don't think there's a whole lot of enemies in this first little room. Just take the winding staircase along the outside, work your way up. Once you get into this upcoming room, 2 to 3 enemies in here, typically a couple of shields. So watch out for those. They will be kind of intermixed through here. Got a chest up here on this level if you want to grab that for some materials. And then we're going to go, again, follow the red lights, usually a pretty good sign. You're actually going to go outside across this gap. And there's actually a pretty decent fight in here. I think there's 3 rifle people and 1 machine gunner. Somewhere in that realm, so definitely be prepared for a decent fight. And then you also have 1 sniper way up there to be careful for as well. So once you've taken out all the enemies, typically I do it from outside and just kind of peek when I need to. run up here, and we'll make another circle to go a bit higher up. So work your way around. Again, not too many chests. I do recommend getting to the end of this one, though. Both of them, actually, because there's a very good cut array that you can potentially get from here. If you're looking for which one it is kind of one of the better ones, actually. It's this Tarl cut array. You can get this from, I think, either of these, or at least one of them, potentially. So definitely go to the end of whichever one you're doing in here. Try and get to that final chest, usually pretty high up top. We're going to hop across. But this one's probably one you'll want to come back to, so get comfortable in here. Once you hop over here, easiest way, follow the red light to go across. Your chest will be this one for the material for the Bene Gesserit quest. You got a decent chest up here as well. And then there's more that you can do if you work your way farther. So at this point, what you need to do is finish up whatever you want to explore in the area, and then we're going to head back to the Helios Gate. And you're going to talk to Sister Mesa right there towards the entrance. When you're done talking to her, that will be the end of unlocking the Bene Gesserit skill tree. So not really too difficult, just going to a couple of places that you probably will need to venture eventually. And then now, I think everybody's caught up, everything should be unlocked. So let's start the advanced part of this quest chain. So let's get to the next step. All right, first thing you have to do for the advanced quest chain is going to be find the advanced trainer. So we are back in Harko village. We're in the northern section up here by the bank and the exchange. And if you come up here, you're going to find the weapons merchant, kind of one of the bigger, I don't know, one of the bigger icons on the map that you can find. And it's going to be towards that entrance. So if you look towards the weapons merchant, you're going to actually stop partway in on the hallway. And here is your trainer for Bene Gesserit Advanced. I'm going to talk to her, get the quest, and then we're going to be headed back to Haga Basin. Alright, so when you get back to Haga Basin, you can probably enter from entrance 3 or 4. Either one's going to be close because it's kind of in the middle, but those are probably the best piece of advice. When you go for a direction, you're going to Eastern Vermilius Gap. So 3 put me in about here, maybe 4 would be over here. If you're flying, either's probably going to be okay. My base is actually really close to here, so I'm pretty frequent for it. What we need to go to is Alusus. And this is a pretty frequent area. If you come in from just the northern edge where, like, say my base icon is located, come from the north of this area just through the big overhang, through here, and you can't miss it. You've probably been here for another quest as it is. When you get close enough, it's going to trigger that you've actually searched what you need to. And there's 2 different entrances. You should go in this one. This top one here is going to be the one that you need. You're going to have a few enemies in here, but honestly, people are through here so often, you may not have to fight anybody. Doesn't look like I do. So we're looking for the band that's going to let us in this door. You can pick up any of the materials that are through here if you want to. And then what you're going to look for is over here on the right-hand side. You need to climb up here. Well, actually climb, not just hang from the ceiling. And we're going to work our way up this area. Grab an extra bandage, because why not? And this is kind of a bonus little area that you've got here. So here's the hidden Fremen chamber. This is what we were looking for. And then now we're going to recover the bloodline records, which are 8 meters away. And this is what you need to actually search for. So this is going to be the bloodline records that we need to interact with. And then now that we've got that, find the path up Stone Sentinel. So that is going to take you to a completely different place. So we are going to head from here. Stone Sentinel, if I remember correctly, should be, yep, up here. So the Sentinel City in Eastern Shield Wall is where we're going to need to head to. Once I get there, I'm going to kind of probably scale the mountain, figure out exactly where to go, and show you where it is. But for now, head to Eastern Shield Wall towards this kind of large spire for Sentinel City. But don't go in Sentinel City. I'm pretty sure this is outside. So just kind of get near it, and I'll cut forward to the next step. All right, so the location you're going to need to head is the northern side of this large structure, as you can see. Like, Sentinel City is kind of the little base here where you can get some industrial pumps. Good thing to know. But on the northern side, you're going to see this little area right here. And it's kind of where I landed. And I was going to fly to the top, but it actually gets above like 750 meters. So you probably are actually going to want to climb this thing. And depending on what vehicle you have, things like that, I figure I'll just climb it for you. You could fly a good ways up there, maybe park and then put away your vehicle. But if you fall, good luck getting back to it kind of thing. So I figured I'd show you the real way to do it. So you can see here, I'm facing mostly south. And what you're going to want to do is I would recommend things like Shigawire Claw and a full suspensor belt if possible. Now that's one of the things I will fully recommend. Get a full suspensor belt because you can get some massive flights out of this thing, and it will help you a ton, because if you're just trying to climb this thing all the way up, you better do it at nighttime. That's why I also took a pause so I could get some shade. You're going to find this little Fremen camp down here, a couple of still tents, and you can actually see there's these little lights along the path as you go up, and your goal is just to climb up. Now, yes, you could fly all the way up there, but notice what I can do with this. Full suspensor belt will let me fly quite a long ways. Like, if you follow the paths, you can see that you would kind of climb your way up there. But the full suspensor belt lets me get all the way up here. Make sure you got a good power pack to go with it. So I was running a, power pack Mark V. If you got to do it in a few smaller pieces, just follow the lights. It's actually pretty straightforward. So if you look over the edge, you've got lights there, there, and just climb your way up this thing. Once we get up here for our elevation, we are actually pretty high. We are going to keep going, though. And you'll have some chests along the way, so you may as well grab some good stuff from them. But yeah, full suspensor pack. As soon as you can craft this thing, absolute game changer. I do recommend it. You can do some pretty good work with the one right below it. If I remember correctly, just to check. The leap suspensor belt, still pretty good, but the full is just better. The full is just going to allow you to do quite a bit more. So as you work your way up, you might find some chests. You might, see what's up here. And just make sure you're always heading towards the lights. The little lights will tell you where to go. And just like when we climbed the hammer previously for one of the trials, same situation here. The full suspensor belt, I can just climb and search, which is nice. So again, keep going. We got lights above. Making our way up to the top. And we are getting up there. I think I climbed this one other time long ago just for entertainment value, and then I think I figured out that it was actually something, because we got up to what looks like a mouth, and I think that's what it mentions there. This is a long climb. That's why I was like, the suspensor belt is a good idea. Grab your chest along the way and keep going, but you want to get all the way up there. But again, keep following the lights. That's the biggest thing. That will help you a lot. Now, if you're looking at me like, well, you didn't show me the entire path. Follow the lights the whole way up. It's not going to be too crazy. Just keep looking for the lights. Tends to go in a circle around the thing. Once you get up here, you'll notice it looks like there's actually kind of teeth hanging down in the stone structure. You've actually got a crashed ornithopter up here. You're too high to fly up here, I will tell you that now. So don't try. You are going to want to climb it. And then recover the list, which is going to be over here. Same little small container that we've got. Grab this. And I'm also trying to make this video not forever long. That is why I'm kind of flying up the wall as we're going. So now we're going to deliver the bloodline records that we got from the 2 locations back to Harko village and give it to Jocasta. So I will see you guys back there. And don't forget to pick up your big chest while you're here. Alright, so back at Jocasta, we're going to give her the Fremen bloodline records that we recovered. Both sets of what we needed. So after you head back to Harko village, deliver everything that Jocasta wanted. She'll let you upgrade to level 2 skills now, and then her next quest, once you talk to her again, will be the Missionaria Protectiva. So we're going to head and search for this fragment, and then make sure you bring a scanner with you. Handheld scanner is going to be required for at least this step, so bring it with you so we can get on with what we have to do. And other than that, where we're going to be going is the Odom. So when you fly back from Harko village to Haga Basin, make sure you fly back in at zone 10 on the clock, and that will get you in over here, probably the closest to get over here. And we're heading back to where we went for the basic quest. We're going to go to the Stonestep village. So I'm standing here at the entrance to it. I've cleared out the enemies. You'll have usually one down here. You'll have a few more as you proceed up. Got to go in this little spiral circle as you climb up these things. We were here before to pick up that little item that was right up there, but this is a different quest this time. This is why the full suspensor belt is just so good. And as you work your way in a spiral, 2 more will be sitting typically right here. The 2 enemies will be generally here, sniper up there in the corner. And then if you work your way this direction, you'll be towards the final room up in here. Now you'll typically have a couple snipers, one minigun right here, a couple enemies to take out for sure. So first thing we're going to do is we're looking for the item. So if we come up here and we use our scanner, we can actually try and scan, see what's out here. And you can see that I actually use the scanner to pick up the trail. So we've got this over here. Found this. And from here, go to the House of Iln. So this is the trail that we're looking for. So you need to scan this little box right here. Make sure you do that when you enter the door. You'll have usually a minigunner right here in front of you, so this should be off to your right. But I will tell you, make sure you try the chest in here. The Taro Cutter is one of the best ones you can get, and it potentially can come from this science chest over here, so make sure you pick up this one. So now we're going to go to the House of Ilm, and if you scroll down here, we're going to look for whatever icon. It's literally just right down below. So House of Ilm is just one little rock formation down just below us, so we're going to head over there real quick. Alright, went south just a little bit, and if you look at the House of Ilm on the icon, from the desert, the entrance is going to be here from the south. So as you guys can see, I've got my ornithopter. We've got a couple noticeably lit structures over here, so we're going to go ahead and land. Put this guy away. And I'm going to go inside. I'll take you guys with me on this one, up to a point, and then I'm just going to make sure I do my search. So from here, once I know kind of where I run into any enemies, I just don't want you guys, you don't need to watch me fight enemies, it's not necessary. So from here, I'm going to go inside, do a little bit of searching and clearing, and then I'll let you know where to go. Well, this one could not have been more simple. From where you are right here at this entrance, I just walked in, and it says... First off, search the area. I just walked in the basic entrance, and then it says recover the fragment. Fragment looks to be right here. I'm going to go ahead and pick that up. And then we should just be headed back to Harko Village and to deliver the fragment to Jocasta. So back to Harko Village once again. I'll see you at Jocasta for the turn-in, and this should unlock level 3. Alright, so when you get back to Jocasta, talk to her, go through the dialogue. You'll turn in what you brought to her. You're going to also... get the next step of the quest, which is going to be headed back to Haga Basin and headed back to the same place. We're going to be going back to the Odom, so make sure you enter at 10 o'clock on the entrance wheel, and I will see you back there. We're heading to testing station number 71, and I'll show you where that's at on the map once we get back there. Alright, when you get near testing station number 71, you're going to want to come to the rock structure, which probably will be covered by the icon. But from this northeast area, kind of you'll see this overhang and this little structure here. You'll have a few enemies out here, and once you kill those, head inside, and then we're going to go down the stairs. And then once you get to this room, what you're going to be looking for is the kind of order of operations. So you need to go left to get that ID band, go right to get the purple ID band, and then get the final. So if we come over here to the left, you might have some enemies around, you might have some booby traps, so keep your ears open. But if you get down here, just go straight forward, pick up your ID band. That'll get you up here. And then you can run straight back to where we were, cross over that middle room. You can explore if you want to, don't let me stop you, there's chests around, but I'm just kind of doing this for the guide. Cross straight over. And then as soon as you turn the corner, won't be too hard to find the band because it's right in here. And... then your exit of this room will take you towards the actual kind of final area. So out here, and then right here. So if you see what looks like that big round structure, that's the room you're going for. There's probably enemies in there, so I'm going to fight them, and then I'll show you what we need to pick up. So the fight in here can be beefy, but it depends on if somebody's come through recently. Somebody did for mine, so I can just walk in and show you, but be prepared for a decent fight. Drill shot, swords, whatever abilities you got, be ready for them. When you come in here, you're going to head to the right, and you're going to be looking for this small room that looks like it's got books sitting on a table. Walk right up to it, and you should be able to take the book you need. That's going to be the Lexicon of Ecology, getting this from Kind's research. And now we're going to return back to Jocasta in Harko Village, so I'll see you there. Alright, after Station 71, you should be back in Harko Village, heading to check on Jocasta, but she's actually not here. So what you're going to notice is we need to figure out what happened. So if you check on your map, turn around a little bit behind you, and we're going to need to talk to, looks like, this individual.
Don't mind me, I'll just be with me. What, the lady in black?
So talk with her. Do you know her?
She each day. Yes, there have. You might
figure out who was looking for her. Then what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to head to Hanover's bar and question the clientele in there. So follow your little icon. Now, one thing you will need in here is spiced beer. Some of the like areas I was going through in Odom actually had spiced beer in the chest, so you picked some up. So if you're watching this and you get to it, it's not a big deal if you don't have it. All you got to do is just head to the bartender, and you should be able to get some. I think it's like the black goods vendor over here, technically.
Welcome back.
If you need some to trade, spiced beer is right here, so make sure you got a little bit on you. And then we're going to go ahead to the back room, place we've been to before. Actually, I think they're just over in this corner. When we go to talk to this individual.
Help you with something? Buy me a spice ale, cold and frosty, just, you know, some.
So if you talk to him, you're going to get a rogue Bene Gesserit.
Looking for a witch. She wasn't around when we came by, but if you have any information, nah, I don't mind if you ask. But it's got more than you've got. I'm not at liberty. I know.
Alright, so question the clientele, go through the dialogue pretty quick. And then from here, we're going to go to the ambush location in Odom. So again, back to Haga Basin, fly in entrance 10, and I will see you there. Alright, so after coming back from Harko Village, we're going to be in the Odom. Again, enter at about 10 o'clock, should be good. And we're up in the northwest area. You can kind of see where I am on the map, just northwest of the entrance. And you'll see the quest icon. When I come in, I'm kind of entering the ambush zone from a northwest area. So you'll kind of see me walking in a southeastern direction. And as you get closer to the zone, once you get kind of to the middle of the quest marker, there's going to be enemies that spawn kind of in 4 areas around you. What I would do is just try and take out the closest one, find yourself some cover, and just take your time to take them out safely. So I had a rifle, I kind of used a Shigawire Claw to get around the corner here, and then just slowly worked to find the enemies. One was pretty close around this corner, one other one was up over the hill. So take your time, find the ones that you can. There you go, there's one. Then as we work around this corner, I have another one right here who's pretty close. Last one was a little farther away, and we're good. So those 4 are down, clear the area, and then if you check the map, what you're going to notice is now we're going to be able to find Jocasta hiding. She's nearby, so just look at the quest icon about 250 meters away, a little bit southwest of wherever you are. Find her kind of around the corners of the rocks, and then once we're over there, I'll show you what happens next. So once you get around this corner, you're going to see her little icon. Talk to her. It doesn't take very long to go through this dialogue. As soon as you're done with the dialogue, she's going to basically vanish in front of you. Then we're going to head back to Harko Village, and we're going to talk to her there. Alright, so when you get back to Harko Village, talk to her here, and now we're actually going to complete the contract because we're able to give her what we need. And then we're going to get the next step of the quests. As usual, we're going to be headed back to Haga Basin, but we are going to a different place this time. So the first location that you're going to want to land in is going to be kind of towards like Haga Rift. So if you want to come in at about 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, somewhere in there, try 2 o'clock. That's what I'm going to do, and I'll show you where that comes in. And we're going to find all these different pieces of like the Syndicate investigation that we need to. So back to Haga Basin, try entrance 2. That's my best guess probably. Alright, so the first investigation is going to be at the Slant. So where you're going to be coming from, if you enter in from number 2, you're going to come in here. Number 3, you're going to come down here. So pick your poison, but I think number 2 is probably a smidge closer. Fly on over here, however you want to get here, and we're going to be right here, Jabal, Ifrit, Al-Janub, kind of in this northern border, right before you get to Haga Rift, and we're at the Slant. Now, I'm looking into it here. Gonna have some enemies over there, so be careful. There was one waiting for me down there, and then when you come up in here, there were a few more. So be prepared, you're gonna have a little bit of a fight. When you get to this structure here, walk up this ramp, you're gonna see probably a little power station here. Turn the corner, and you're looking to read this book right here. Investigate this book and read it, and that will get you what you need. It is sitting right next to your intel if you haven't picked it up before, but also a pretty good chest in here if you need that one, and some water. So that is step 1. Go ahead and do that, and then our next step of the journey is going to take us to somewhere that's noticeably farther away. So let's see if I can spot it on the map. This one is actually going to be Secrets of the Syndicate. So where we were previously in the quest, where we were way up top on the Fangs of Marikab, we're going to be back here, and you're actually going to probably enter into Sentinel City, but I think there's 2 entrances to it, so we're going to try this side over here. And depending on if it's from above or below, I'm going to go through, figure out where it is, and then I'll let you know what the closest entrance is to get to what we need. So head over to Sentinel City, by the eastern shield wall, and then I'll explain more when we get there. Alright, so if you are near Sentinel City, what you're going to notice is there's really two entrances, and if you've ever gone all the way through, you've probably popped out the other side. But the southern entrance to Sentinel City is actually not the one we're going to use. So if you look, that's this one over here, typically where I've entered before. Pretty big structure to go all the way through the mountain. There's also this one up here. This is what you actually want to head to. So if you're coming to the entrance, you're going for, you know, if you're really zooming in on the mountain, you're on this like eastern edge. Got a pretty flat landing zone as you come in, and you're really close to what you need to get to, actually, which is why I'm showing you this real time. So as you come in, there were, I think, 4 enemies tucked in this little corner over here. So flamethrower, 2 melees, couple guys right there that I just took out. And then as you get here, you got a couple of chests, and right here in this little bucket, you've got what you need. So this will let you get the meeting notification. And now we're going to need to find the flight logs, which are very, very, very far away. So the flight logs are going to be down in Sheol. This is going to be down at the wreck of the Aurea aft. This is the Delphus. So you've got this tiny wreck down here that you're going to need to fly to. If you've never done a radiation suit before, you might want to pick one up. I'm going to go grab one for precaution, but I'm going to test and see what it's like without them. As you're coming from this northern entrance, what you might do is get to about here, park, get everything prepared, and then fly in as the radiation kicks in. So I'm going to get to about here on the map, and then I'll show you the full rundown and run back just to give you guys a full live playthrough so you can see how everything works. So go get your radiation suit if you got one, but I'm going to go show you what it's like without one too, but I'm bringing one with me, and I will see you on the border of Sheol. Alright, so my advice for this one, not technically required if you're fast, but if you don't want to get completely worked by some of the enemies, because they are absolutely no joke, radiation suit is one thing. It will help keep you alive for the radiation, but the enemies are tough. So what you might do is actually come down here with a decent set of armor. Like, I think I'm running the Duraluminum set right here, which means I've already been through this area. Radiation suit, kind of only doing its thing out there. If you want an iodide pill, that might not be a bad way to go as well, depending on what materials you've got. But down here, you'll notice I mentioned to fly down to Sheol about here. What you actually can do, because the green and brown is a bit kind of spotty, this area right here, and you'll notice it's kind of an outpost to the edge of Archon. I'm sitting on top of it right now. Yeah, there's probably some stuff I could go through there and clear out, but you can sit on in here and gather no radiation, which is a good thing. That way your trip is a lot shorter and you have less to worry about. Now, the thing to know when you get over there, I can't quite tell if there are radiation spots or not radiation spots on the ship. I don't know if it's like not showing up on the screen or what the deal is. So we're going to go over there. I'll show you what I'm talking about. And then it's a very small thing to explore. Like, it takes a couple seconds to go inside. You can bring a cut array if you want to open the extra door to get the bonus stuff. But it's mostly just trying to survive the enemies. And they just hit like a truck. Like, if you're in a Mark IV radiation suit, you do not have enough armor to take many shots. But as you come over here, you're going to notice I've got the screen kind of radiation situation on. And then if I come up here, what I noticed was the radiation was building. So you can see that on screen. But if I equip my radiation suit, that one does actually seem to make it, for one, quite a bit slower. And then some were even saying, like, depending on where you park on the ship, you might be able to avoid it. But there does seem to be radiation over here. And it just is kind of weird because you can almost evade it, but not quite. The biggest thing is going to be the enemies, though, I will tell you that. The enemies around here hurt, and I mean a lot. So if you want just a decent respawn point in case you do die, what I would do is just take your vehicle and park it right up here. Then, if you die, it's not a big deal just to drop down and get your stuff. Make sure it's not sliding anywhere. And I would come at it from a side. Radiation suit will help. And if you've got enemies, just try and make sure you get an angle so you can see them up there. Now, the ones that are up there, no joke, so just be careful as you come up. A drill shot for some shields is not a bad idea. They're probably going to spawn on me, but the machine gunner and the 2 others, they're no kidding. So once they're dead, come in here. You've got the cut array door on the right with a chest, and you've got this chest right here with a little bit of money in it. And what you really need is back here. You're going to read this book for the flight logs. I'm going to go ahead and close that out. And then just be careful. Notice my radiation suit is just ticking away on durability. So watch that one. You've got a chest over here for some materials, and I said cut array door over there. Once you've got that, you can leave. But I will just tell you, the fight to get in there Definitely took me running back and forth to the safety radiation zone, trying a different set of armor, dying once. It was no joke. And then, just to save your radiation's sake, you can come back over here, and just to recoup the radiation, you can actually go right over here to this base, and then as soon as you fly out, you'll see the radiation start ticking down pretty quickly, and that will be a way for you to know that you are in kind of a safe zone. So now that we've got the flight logs, you can see we're going to be heading to another location, and that one is... I'll find it now. Flight logs are going to be 2,700 meters away, so let me figure out where we're going next. But once you've actually landed back here, clear the radiation, get everything back to normal, and then we're going to get to the next step. Alright, so after you finish the step in Sheol, and hopefully that made sense to where you can actually kind of land right here at the edge of Archon, fly in, deal with the enemies with a decent set of armor, maybe switch over to a radiation suit to slow it down, come back here to get the radiation off if you need, kind of bounce back and forth until you get what you're going for. After the Sheol section, you're going to need to come up here. And we're going to be going back to someplace we actually were in the very beginning, kind of the unlock quest, Rockwarren Village. But not quite. You're going to be next to it, actually, just slightly different. Now, I went through and recorded this a previous time, but I just kind of wanted to explain it as smoothly as I can, because I'm not sure I did as well the first time, because it's a bit deceiving. So, Rockwarren Village has got the red lighting, you hop across, you go in, and you're, traveling up there and jumping across. We've been through there, but we're actually going to be below it this time. So, when we're down here, turn on my light. There's my poorly parked ornithopter. So you're going to have one of the orange little camps. You got a scavenger camp here, a couple guys. When you go in here, there's going to be 3, call them lieutenants, I don't know, but 3 shielded enemies, not too bad to take out, but they will spawn when you open this. Now, I don't know if it's going to do it every time or only when you're on the quest, but as soon as you slash this open and kind of walk in, they spawn for me. Now, it's probably only because I was on the quest. There are a lot of booby traps in here, so be careful about that. And there's poison, but 3 shielded enemies are going to spawn pretty much as soon as you cross the threshold of that door, as long as you're on the quest. Remember, this is not a bad time to bring your compactor. You can actually kind of take care of some of this stuff. Sometimes it'll do it. If it's just floating in the air, that's not as much of a reason to use it. So that will actually dissipate. But had to check and see, because there's some stuff down below that is like compactable. This stuff is not. So you'll have 3 shielded enemies that spawn. Take them out. And then it's deceiving by the actual like quest location, because it looks like it's farther in, and I went through and cleared it all, hence why I know what's in there, but it's actually above you. So when you go above, and again, this is a full suspensor belt in case you're wondering how I can go all the way up here. When you get up to about here, what you're going to notice is you're going to see some more of the trees, cactus, whatever you want to call them. And the quest marker is actually going to be up on this level. When you walk kind of out there, basically, to get ambushed, there's going to be a boss that spawns right over here. He is beefy. I think he's got a drill shot, if I had to guess, because it had the little, projectiles that were going to penetrate into my shield. I forgot my shield the first time. I got pretty worked. He hits hard, so make sure you come prepared, decent armor, turn your shield on, make sure your dodges are ready so you can get the drill shots off of you, have any abilities you can to stun him. He's got a potent weapon, so just keep that in mind. So once you just kind of land, it's basically right here. It was right here. He spawned behind me, got the jump on me. If you can get up here, maybe slow him down, anything to basically control, Shigawire Claw him, anything to slow him down. Get yourself some distance if you need to once he spawned, and then work on taking him out. But he's just definitely a beefy enemy to worry about. Once you're done with that, then he is actually going to drop the item you need that you're looking for, which is going to be the Syndicate contract. This is the item that you were looking for. He drops it specifically, and then we're going to head back to Jocasta, and we're going to head back to Harko Village. So once you've done that sequence of events, you're good to head back. So Scavenger Camp is just nothing, but if you want to be able to run back outside, I would take these out. Then slice the door, take out the 3 shielded enemies inside, and then go up about 120 meters or so, pull the ambush, kill the boss, get some distance if you need to, bring any powerful weapons you can, definitely bring yourself a potent set of armor, maybe heavy if you've got it. Then once you're done, make sure you pick up the item off of that main, like, elite enemy, pretty noticeable, he's got, like, kind of a black suit on. Then you can head back to Harko Village, which is where I'm going to go. So I will see you back in Harko Village. We're going to talk to our NPC, Jocasta, and we're going to get to the last step, which is a bit tedious, but not nearly as difficult, just a little tedious. Alright, so we're going to come back, talk to Jocasta, complete the contract so you unlock your capstone, and then we're going to get the rogue Bene Gesserit as our next step, and basically the final step. So here, what we're going to need to do is use a couple of skills, Compel and then Litany Against Fear. Compel's annoying because you have to use it on someone, so we're going to go to basically South Haga Basin and find some easy enemies, since you should probably be beefed up enough that it shouldn't be as difficult. Then we're going to recite another one. So the two skills you need are Compel, easy one right here in the middle to unlock, probably doesn't take too many points. The one that is going to take you some points, but it's probably not a bad thing to unlock a couple of these, like self-healing effectiveness and recovery. So look at what you want to unlock as you go through here, but you need Litany Against Fear. You need to be able to use this one, so you're going to need to unlock that one. So we're going to equip Compel, and we're going to equip Litany Against Fear, and I'm going to head to Southeast Haga Basin. I'm going to enter at like 4 o'clock on the clock, trying to be a little lower, closer towards South Haga Basin. You probably almost could go like 5, but I think 4 is going to be closer to what I'm looking for. So head back to South Haga Basin, and we're going to practice our voice to compel, but you have to do it on an enemy, so we're going to find like a testing station or a camp or something and see how we can do this. I will see you there. Alright, so the first thing you're going to need to do is compel. Now, you notice in the upper left-hand corner, I used it one time. So practice using the voice to compel. You're going to need to do this a lot. So what my advice is find one of these lower level areas. So when you fly in at about 4 o'clock at South Haga Basin, you're going to have a couple of these camps that are pretty close and the enemies are not that strong. So just occasionally wait for your cooldown. If you got anything to reduce cooldowns, that'd be great, but you probably don't. And from here, you're just going to use it the number of times that you need to use it. And then when it comes to the next one, the litany, you don't actually need to be near an enemy, so just find a safe spot out of the sun, and you'll be able to do what you need to do. So again, 30-second cooldown kind of sucks, but we're going to use the voice to compel again. That'll keep him busy for a little while. And again, you've just got to wait the whole cooldown. That's kind of all you can do. Now, I don't know how long it lasts. Typically, it's not long enough to matter. But I'm just going to kill this person now, so I'm not sitting here getting shot. Well, that's what you got to do. I don't know if it's 20 times or what it is. It looks like it's quite a few, though. So take your time. Find some easy enemies. If you can get one alive and just kind of hang in cover so you're not waiting for them to spawn. Use any of these easy areas in the Haga Basin South. Any of these little camps. Maybe an outpost if you want to. But just get to the point where you have one enemy alive. And then just control them, go hide, control them, go hide, probably the easiest one. When it comes to the other one, the Litany Against Fear, this is, again, as I said, not needed on enemies, so use it enough times, just hang out somewhere, wait for the cooldown, same thing. And then at that point, we're going to head back to Harko Village when you're done with both of those, and we'll actually be at the end. So this part's a little tedious, but it's a pretty easy step to end. So I'm going to wrap up these two parts, and I'll meet you back in Harko Village for the finale. Alright, so once you've gone through the process of practicing the voice to compel, which I feel like it's 20 times, so be patient, it'll eventually get done. And then recite the Litany Against Fear, just go stand somewhere in the shade, knock it out. Fly back to Harko Village, and we're looking for the mysterious character, basically. So if you go into Harko Village, go to the main hub with the projection, we're going to go towards like the tax collector, and we're going to find the rogue Bene Gesserit. Should just be able to talk to them and then finish this thing up. So if there's anything more than that, I will let you know, but we're going to kind of walk over here and find out to be sure. Just to check. Yep. I'm going to talk right here. If there's any craziness in the dialogue, I'll let you know. Otherwise, we're probably just headed back to Yasuko to finish this up. Pretty straightforward. Apparently, they were not looking for Jocasta, so we're going to head back to Jocasta, and that should be it. So we confronted Lady Margo, run out of this region, and should just be a quick U-turn up here. And then we should pretty much be done, I think.
You're back.
So complete the contract, talk to the sister. There you go, there's the Steam achievement. That one is completed. And you are done. Everything for Bene Gesserit should be unlocked. Obviously, you gotta work your way up the skill tree to do so, but that should be level 3 for Bene Gesserit. And also, that is every complete unlock quest chain for every skill tree. So if you're looking for any of those, I've got all the rest of them done on the channel. So check out those. And if you guys enjoyed this one, drop a like below, leave a comment if you want to say hi or if I missed anything important. Or you can find me on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Blue Sky, pretty much everything. If you find Ebontis and the Cheetah, thank you guys very much for the like, the views, the memberships, and anything else. Have a great one, good luck, and if this helped you, share it with somebody who may need it. Have a good one.